I apologize for that interruption. I had a Grubhub downstairs coming to deliver food. Anyway, just picking back up on what I was talking about earlier, uh, I don't want to. I do want to use this the YouTube as a platform to help and those that are more like me that just kind of jump in head first without doing their homework. Uh, And what I find is that there's a lot of people that are giving a lot of good advice and even some warnings. And they've had some very good success with, dating those and even marrying some of the Filipina girls. And I would hope that by nature that there are a lot of nice and beautiful women there, um, as well as there would be in any country, I would imagine. It's just weeding through those ones that are the bad apples that, and I think in some cases do kind of spoil the whole bunch. But from a Western man's point of view, looking somewhere uh, else to locate, somebody that you can get to know well and trust and make plans for a future. Um, it was extremely flattering to me early on. And where I made my mistake, I think, is that I went to a lesser um, site. Maybe I don't know if it's lesser or if it's just maybe there's more of the weeding. The weeding through process was more prevalent at those places. I don't really want to say where I went, but what I noticed, and it didn't even phase me, was that there was a lot of women that said that they were separated. And I thought, well, okay, then they're on their way to a divorce. And it's unfortunate that sometimes in relationships that those things happen, whether they're here in the United States or somewhere else in another country. But what I didn't know, and I found out this too, uh, again, Michael always jumps in, head first, and that's been my own personal weakness, I guess, when it comes to relationships, starting one. Anyway, it's head first. Let's just see what happens, and then we'll figure it out as we go. Well, I did figure it out, but it took some 9 months for me to get the clarity that I was looking for right from the beginning. And this particular person that I was engaged with, talking over the phone, was a very nice conversation. It was very regular. Um, there was a lot of displays of where she worked and what she did, and that she owned a little store. And I think I became enamored by the fact that somebody my age would, be able to have something with somebody her age, which was, I think it was 37 years old. She just turned. So it was 9 months with somebody 36 that just turned 37. And that's when at that time, we I did anyway. I think I realized a little bit more than she wanted me to. Um, and what that was that took me so long to discover was that not just she, but many, I think, have a lot of different websites or Facebook pages. I should not websites, Facebook accounts, and they use aliases and maybe spell their name backwards or use another name with a name, that type of thing. And I believe that they communicate with each other as well as close families, husbands, um, relatives, by marriage. That's their form of communicating. And they, or I should say, if not they, showed me what she wanted to show me and not what she didn't. And then if I happen to notice things, red flags, and wanted to discuss those things, the conversation was not a face-to-face, talk. It was a text. And then I was asked if I was okay. Like, are you going to forget about that, or are we going to go into it? And yet she brought to my attention, and I don't think she knew what it meant, what a red flag was or boundaries. I think I was always under the impression that she understood English better than she did, because she was in college, and that was the waiting game was like that. And then the COVID, of course. So, but then there was a lot of other things that I want to talk to you about that, and we're going to. And I just don't want to do it all at once, because uploading these little things, and I just want to keep them brief. I'm not doing it for any monetary gain. I'm just doing it because I think it's necessary, for those that are like myself, that they're young and adventurous types of people, and they want to meet a different type of woman, and I don't know that you do. I don't know if because of their circumstances that you're really going to find better without having to go through the weeds. And I'm not here to say that I'm going to go through them all for you, but I want you to have some maybe a little bit more clarity than I did. If it's not from the person, to understand a little bit about maybe some of the things that might happen, and then when you're aware of them, because I'm told even by those that live there, from their videos, that half-truths is very common. They do a lot of things to save face, maybe some of their past, if you needed to know that, or where they came from, or what they've done with their life, and how they've got as far as they have in life. If they're ahead of somebody else, if you needed to know that, they may not tell you, and then you may find out another way. And then when you do, I think you're more than disappointed. So the caption, and I would always say this, is that what you don't know, sometimes they would think doesn't hurt you, but it does. And especially when you find out, and you find out that way. So I'm hoping that as an educational or an experience that I went through, and how I went through it, maybe I can save you some grief, and maybe some time. They say time is money, and I did not here, as I wasn't asked to promote, but I'm going to say this. I think I could have got more for my time and money if I would have went with the original company that approached me, because I was looking, I guess, and I went from one and got some response pretty quickly, and then wound up in another. And I did pay there to get some of those interactions with the other company that I went with originally, because it was cheaper, and I thought that, well, I can save some money. I'm serious about this, but not as serious as getting on the plane the next day, or that's also a process, so it is there is a waiting game, but there's so much that I've learned in the 9 months, because I just didn't sit idle and just keep daydreaming. The smile was beautiful, and I was definitely flattered, but in my spare time, I did a lot of homework, I guess, and I should have done that before I met this woman, because then I could have just cut that off a lot quicker than I did. So I'm going to just save you a little time, hope to anyway, and do believe this, that what you don't know will hurt you, and it can in more ways than one. And my video alone is not going to give you that understanding or knowledge or whatever. So, just explore them all. You're gonna get a lot of them, and maybe some that are like mine, and some that are maybe a little bit more educational, and they've got a lot more experience than I do, and when it comes to actually living it or being right there, So I was even considering retirement in the Philippines, but I've been detoured. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you soon about a lot of this, because just my perspective on a lot of things. And this is all in the next one. I think I'm going to call it Saving Face. All right. It's more important than I think the disgraces that they think they're saving it in one end and they're really losing it in another. So that's just my opinion, but we'll talk about it. All right.